listen up, because I'm only going to say this once, and I am freezing cold out here. I know he's cold too, because it's a chilled night out here in Texas. But that's not on our minds right now, because this man is about to heat things up. I'm sitting here with former WWE superstar and current NWA star, Dirty Dango. I'm Charles Murphy. This is a captivating conversation, and we just saw you out there have a little bit of fun with Exodus Prime. That was awesome out there. You made a three-way dance tonight.
Before we get into that, man, I thought we were in Texas here. Wasn't it like 80? I checked my weather app. It said it was 80 degrees.
Yeah.
Should I talk like this?
So
should I talk with my regular voice? I don't know.
The bipolarness of the Texas weather is actually what you're feeling right now, and that's literally what we go through all the time.
Damn,
like, where actually are you from?
I'm from Maine.
You're from Maine? Oh,
and I'm complaining about 50-degree weather. So
right.
I was looking forward to a break in the cold. And then I was like, yeah, we'll go out to Texas, do the show, and then it'll be kind of nice, and then I can go back to the tundra. But I flew from the tundra into the tundra. So.
Well, you did it in December. You didn't do it at the right time. You didn't do it at the actually right time.
Yeah.
But you look like a guy who knows how to have a good time. I see this. Now you got the gimmick of the dancer at WWE. Was that something that, like, bring me to that conversation? How did that go down?
Pretty much, Hunter pulled me aside and said, "Hey, take stripping lessons."
Okay.
I go, all right, cool. All right, yep. So I'm taking stripping lessons at a local dance studio in Tampa, and then about a month later, he goes, "Hey, don't do stripping lessons." I'm like, "Oh, great, nice. I don't have to be a fucking dancer."
Avoided that one, right?
Take ballroom dancing. I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Oh my god.
So, even better. I did some ballroom dancing, and then talked to Vince, and he said, "Hey, we got this idea. Chris Jericho was on Dancing with the Stars, so you're going to be an evil ballroom dancer." So
I didn't even put that two and two together. That's why he would have done that.
The evil nemesis to the ballroom dancer.
So you got that, and because you had a little bit of an indie career before getting into developmental, so you're like one of those first, I'm gonna grab indie guys and kind of put them in developmental.
Yeah,
that was like one of those first kind of rounds of that.
Kind of like 05, 06 before. I wouldn't say I was an indie darling, but I was on the indies for a little while, and then was at Kowalski School for a little while, then went down to Deep South Wrestling and got signed out of there.
Yeah, and with a lot of guys you're actually at NWA with right now. Too.
Yeah, all of us old timers now. I'm in my late 30s, so. And that's why I'm kind of back on the independent scene, man. There's such great young talent. Like, I just went out in the ring tonight with Prime, cut that promo, and these guys can go, man. It's just really, you got to step your game up with these guys. Like 20 years ago in the indies, just the evolution of professional wrestling, the stuff that these guys can do, and their cardio, and just the shape they're in. It's like, fuck, I don't know how long I can hang with these guys, but
I mean, you look great. Look, that's one thing I always remembered about you. You had a better look than I think they gave you a thing for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're a bigger guy, you know what I mean? You could have done a lot, but when
I should have been in the Shield, Vince.
Yeah, see, this is where you find out things that should have happened.
Vince, if you're watching this, I wanted to be in the Shield.
Watching this, get me a better job.
Yeah.
But no, I probably wouldn't. But anyway, the one thing that I do know about people on the independent scene is that they're looking to get to that next level. Mm-hmm. You were there, and I read an interview that said that you felt that whenever you got to that level, you didn't take advantage of it. Basically, kind of in a sense.
Yeah.
So what would you say to somebody who, especially a guy like a guy like Prime, a guy you're facing tonight like Tatum Manning, who are young, getting ready to get to that next level? What would you say to someone like that?
I think the problem with me is that I was in development for like 6 years. So when I finally got on the road and started having a consistent spot and having writers come up with consistent storylines and promos for me, I thought I was kind of set. Kind of made it. And that's the worst thing you can do, because if you become complacent and start relying on the machine to keep pushing you, there's only a few guys and girls, a handful, that are going to be consistent. Excuse me, I'm freaking cold out here.
Yeah.
Are going to be consistently pushed and plugged in to consistent storylines. So I kind of got complacent, and that was on me. So if I can give any advice, is just keep coming up with ideas and stay proactive backstage, and don't just rely on the machine to keep pushing. So lesson learned. But I think maybe just Vince had this idea for me to work Jericho, and maybe he didn't that was it. You know,
So-
like who knows? He's like, well, I guess the angle's over with. So
We need you right here.
I mean,
pal.
it's such a niche, weird character. How far? Like, what can you really? How far can you go?
I didn't want to ask you because we were cold, but I did want to ask you this now. Like,
Yeah.
how, whenever you got it and whatever, after WrestleMania, and so you have that match with Jericho, it's brilliant. Your song's #1 or whatever it did.
Like,
it
where do you go
charted.
from there?
Yeah,
you
how
know?
did you feel that you could have taken? Did you have any ideas, or were you kind of waiting and being like, well, okay, and now where do I go?
Like I just said, I kind of just relied on the company to kind of keep plugging me in because they kind of hand-fed me the whole angle and all the promos, everything was written for me. They essentially, the machine made that angle. It wasn't. It was kind of manufactured for me, so that's on me. Just relying. Well, I guess I'll just have something for me Monday when I get to TV, but. Eventually, unless, like I said, you're one of those top guys, you got to start coming up with your own shit and creating a rapport with the boss, which
Right.
I didn't. I did semi, but not as much as I should have, you know. So that's on me. But I think that's the biggest thing is like a lot of guys and girls that get let go from WWE, they kind of just blame it on the company. But you got to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and kind of evaluate what you did wrong, things you got to work on. If it's your body, if it's your promos, if it's your in-ring work, whatever it is, it's easier just to say, well, WWE screwed me and they didn't give me the opportunity. But it's hard to look in yourself and just be honest with yourself and be like, well, I wasn't as proactive as I should have been, you know. So. But I mean, after that was done, we did get a little run with Breeze and myself, and
Yeah.
so it's not like they. I know I was probably on the chopping block a couple times, but they gave me a second run with Breeze, and then I got hurt, and another run with Breeze and NXT, and I mean, dude, I was there for 15 years, 7 or 8 years on TV, so it's, you know,
I think that's a pretty good run, man.
You can't really be too upset about that. And I got no ill feelings towards the company, and 15 years in WWE is not a lot of people can say they did that, so you know. Not bad.
All right. Well, I'm going to let Tyler, not Tyler, I almost called you Tyler Breeze, because that's actually what I want to talk to you next. We're going to talk about your run with Breeze, because I think you guys did really well with stuff that, you know, who could have done with the fashion files and made something out of that. You guys did awesome with that.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see what you do out there with that three-way dance. I like it instead of a triple threat match. No, it's a three-way dance. I like the fact
See
you
what I
said
did
that
there?
with
Clever.
Exodus Prime and Tatum Manning. This is Dirty Dango, and we'll be back. Captivating conversation. I'm Charles Murphy. We'll see you later. Hey, MPX addicts, this is Charles Murphy, Captivation Magazine Online, and sadly, there is no part 2 to this interview. The weather was just really cold outside, and it was just not right to have him out there, freezing to death to talk to us about anything. And even though I am sad because I really wanted to talk to him about Tyler Breeze and his relationship with him and how that built up, but we did have some really good information out of Dirty Dango, and I really appreciate his time. Hopefully he has safe travels on his trip to wherever he is next. I will be at Christmas Day MPX, so come hang out with Charles Murphy, that's me, and Captivation Magazine Online at MPX Wrestling, guys. We'll see you next time.